What would drive a man to fight a war that had already ended? For Lieutenant Hiroo Onoda, it wasn't madness, it was duty. In 1974, a Japanese college dropout named Norio Suzuki embarked on an adventure to find a soldier rumored to be hiding in the Philippine jungle since World War II. Remarkably, he succeeded in just 4 days where official search parties had failed for decades. Born in 1922, Hiroo Onoda was drafted into the Japanese Imperial Army during WWII. In December 1944, as American forces invaded the Philippines, he received orders that would define his existence. You are absolutely forbidden to die by your own hand. It may take 3 years, it may take 5, but whatever happens, we will come back for you. When American forces overwhelmed Japanese troops on Lubang Island in February 1945, Onoda led his men into the mountains to wage guerrilla warfare. What they didn't know was that Japan surrendered in August 1945 after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. For nearly 3 decades, Onoda and his dwindling band rejected every piece of evidence that the war had ended. Leaflets announcing Japan's surrender, American propaganda, letters from their families, clever forgeries, a visit from Onoda's brother via loudspeaker, an enemy impersonator. Even Japanese newspapers they stole were dismissed as fakes because they didn't mention Japan's planned East Asia co-prosperity sphere. Their paranoia transformed into a fortress of delusion that nothing could penetrate. One by one, Onoda's comrades left him. Private Akatsu surrendered in 1949. Corporal Shimada was killed by Filipino security forces in 1954. Private Kozuka died in a shootout in 1972. Finally, Onoda stood alone, a ghost soldier fighting an imaginary war. For the islanders, these weren't noble warriors, but mountain devils who stole their food, burned their rice harvests, and occasionally shot at them. While Japan celebrated Onoda's dedication, the Filipinos endured years of terror from his misguided mission. When Norio Suzuki finally found Onoda in 1974, the lieutenant made one final demand. He would only surrender if his commanding officer ordered him to do so. Remarkably, Japan located his former major, now a book dealer, and flew him to Lubang to read Onoda his final orders. The 14th Area Army has ceased all combat activity. With those words, Hiroo Onoda's 29-year war finally ended. He returned to a hero's welcome in Japan, a country transformed beyond recognition from the imperial power he had sworn to defend. Unable to adjust to modern Japan, Onoda moved to Brazil to become a cattle rancher. He later returned to Japan, married, and founded a survival school for children. In 1996, he even visited Lubang Island again, donating $10,000 to a local school. Onoda's story raises profound questions about indoctrination, loyalty, and the human capacity for self-deception. Was he a paragon of dedication or a prisoner of his own making? Perhaps he was both, a man whose greatest strength and most tragic flaw were the same unwavering commitment to a cause that no longer existed. Lieutenant Hiroo Onoda died in 2014 at age 91, having lived 2 lifetimes, one as a soldier lost in time, and another as the man who finally found his way home.